Okay, good morning, everybody. Bobby Piton here. Thank you for joining me a little earlier. As you guys know, I've got an event this evening, and so I have to do that. And then tomorrow, I think I'll be going on in the morning as well because the movie's coming out. So tomorrow, I'll be doing the rosary. I think at 7:30. And then, so I'll let everybody know. And then I think at 8 o'clock, I'll do the Bible and so forth. So, hello, Jules. Hey, Strays. Maria. Good to see everybody. Lynn. Let me see here. Dallas and Dan and Mary. Let's see. Greg is new and TF and Kong Chen. So that's where we're at right now. Now, I posted a few things, and it's kind of interesting how this works, right? Because I kind of went about my day. I had a dream this morning about a few of the things that I posted. When I say I had a dream, I have these thoughts that come into my mind about what I'm supposed to write each day without overthinking it. It just kind of like, a lot of what I write, it just flows into my mind when I'm waking up. And then I sit down and type it up. And it's usually one shot, so I don't really rewrite anything. Usually just, I sit down and just write it on the fly. So today, and I'm going to talk about what I wrote today because it ties in a little bit to what is, what's being discussed here with regards to these tribes of Israel. The particular tribe of Israel that went in and they slaughtered everybody, took the virgins. And then they went and literally stole other young girls, I guess virgins, and thought it was okay to do this, right? Because they had no king. And so this is the idea. This was Israel without a king. This is, I would say, Israel on more of its horrible side. So, I would argue that when Israel was doing these things, when the people there were living so what's the word? Abusively, abusing their interpretation of the Bible and God's will. I think they were just trying to create a justification for crimes against humanity. That's what it sounds like to me. And so that's my big takeaway. So, anyways, it's kind of funny because I didn't actually read the readings for today or listen to them and read them until I wrote this post. So I wrote this post first and at 6:15, and then I went over the readings. And so I've gotten some interesting backlash about this post. So I'm going to just kind of talk about it so you guys can have it and hear what I'm thinking firsthand because I do think it's a conversation we need to have. And I know that it's considered like toxic. People are like, you can't be a conservative if you say such things, right? This is the kind of horse shit that people try to throw at me. Now, this is somebody, I can tell you more about every type of industry in this country and how they all make money. Probably there aren't that many people like me out there that can do this. I do know that for a fact. There aren't that many people that have studied thousands of companies for decades in a row. So there's a limited number of people. There's probably a couple thousand in the country. And so when I hear these kind of remarks from people that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, I did kind of say something back at one of them today. So in the comment section, because it's like, you know what? Wake up. Okay. Enough. I'm tired of this horse shit, these false lies. You're just literally spouting out propaganda on things that you have no understanding of. Okay, you think you do, but you didn't do any of the work. So I got a big problem when somebody says something and they didn't do the work, I'm not cool with it. I don't like to talk about things I didn't do the work on first. Okay, that's just my 2 cents. And so, maybe other people feel differently, but I think we all kind of feel at some point it kind of grates on us if somebody is holding themselves out to be an expert when they're truly not. And we've seen this all the time with politicians, right? These people are absolutely clueless, but they act and they speak with such authority that they lie and mislead us, and they'll continue to lie about how much they know to cover up the lies about what they didn't know to begin with. So this happens all the time. So anyways, the supermajority of Americans have zero problem with others accruing more wealth than they might accrue. I think we all intrinsically feel that way. I do believe that, and so I do think that we think that you deserve to keep what you create for yourself, for your family. I don't have any argument against that. I do believe that's God's will, that we are free and that we're entitled to what we create. Okay? Totally get it. It's a very American attitude and part of our core belief system as a free people, right? So this is who we are as Americans. This is why we came here. We came here from other countries, from all around the world, because we're tired of getting ripped off. We're tired of being held down in a caste system, tired of being held down in like a feudalistic system where there was the lord, right, and the serfs, right? This is what feudalism is, folks. So we kind of shed that, and we created the United States to allow people to create from scratch and keep what they create. Okay, so I do believe wholeheartedly with this concept, as well as fully reject socialism, which is another name for Satanism. When you really look at socialism, it's not any different than Satanism, right? They want to take and kind of destroy and rough off the edges of what other people are creating for so-called benefit of the good, right? This is what socialism is. It's a way of trying to clip the wings of people that want to create in a society. And so I'm not okay with it, and I'm strongly against any form of socialism. If private individuals want to create free socialistic organizations, so to speak, that's what a religion is. It's kind of like a social gathering, and maybe they help certain people in their group. That's fine. But when you try to force all to participate, that's no longer socialism, folks. I mean, that's no longer acceptable. That's violating our freedom, and it's trying to steal our rights. So it's a huge problem, and so that's why it's tied to Satanism. With that backdrop, we have serious issues that have resulted from corrupt capitalists. Some would call monopolists, others globalists, others technocrats. Folks, look around. We're turning around. We're being hosed every which way. We have monopolies everywhere. We're not enforcing our antitrust laws. We have these globalists trying to rip us off, use our military to protect their factories overseas while they gut our domestic industries. And then they offshore their tax burden into countries like Ireland and the Caribbean, like they did a lot of stuff in the Caribbean before, but more in Ireland now. And then meanwhile, taxes of small business owners in the United States are twice the rate of global corporations. This is a bunch of bull crap. They've been ripping us off. And I could show everybody how they're doing it. So you want to know, I can make a lot of money advising people how to do this crap. If I wanted to just make a lot of money, I could just go advise corporations in the United States and show them how to make a lot of money by dodging taxes. Even though I'm not an accountant, I know enough to show exactly how the skim works. Okay, so this is what's happening in this country. Okay, nobody's calling it out because we got a bunch of idiots in Congress. Sorry, most of them are idiots. There's a few that are okay, but they're just they're over their skis. They have no idea what the hell they're doing in there, and frankly, it's aggravating, but this is one of the reasons why I feel like I was called to run for office. So who knows what's going to happen? But I'm just like, it just turns my stomach that I even have to run, folks. And so, hold on one second. This is my wife. 1 second. Hey, I got to do my Bible this morning. I'm on it right now. So I told you I got to do it because we're gone tonight at that event. Hello? Nicole, hey, I'm doing my Bible right now, so we got the thing tonight, so I'm doing it now. Okay, I'm live. Thanks. Okay, so let me see here. So with that being said, okay, we're in a situation where and I say we, okay, we let, it's God led. God let people create huge fortunes, and we're okay with that. We're a Christian nation, okay? We're a Judeo-Christian nation. That's the reality, folks. We are a Judeo-Christian nation. So we didn't really let people create all these billions. God let them create it. I get that. I don't have any problem with that. I don't think any of us have a problem with that who are true Republicans. We love the fact that people can create, and then we get to participate in the creation. By these creations improve the quality of our life. They create jobs. They make society a better place. Nobody is disputing that when it's done from a place of non-corruptness, when it's done from a place of love, where people love their life, they love what they're doing, right? It wasn't enough that we let them alone. We let them accrue fortunes, right? Tens of billions of dollars. A few over $100 billion. We've let these fortunes go. Okay? And now, where are we at? We let these fortunes go up to 100 billion. Nobody really cared, right? Bezos, Gates, Buffett. I think Elon Musk is now over 100 billion. The Walton family, the Koch brothers, those guys are worth over 100 billion. Okay, I didn't really care. I think most of us were like, you know what? Yeah, worth 100 billion or you're worth $100. It doesn't bother me. Whatever your lot in life is your lot in life. Okay, just don't do anything that steals my rights. Okay, that's the big thing. You're gonna accrue a bunch of money. Don't cheat me. Okay, I don't think that's too much to ask. Do not cheat me. Don't cheat the game. Don't cheat society. You're allowing, we have a game, we have a system set up where you can accrue a tremendous amount of wealth if you do a great job. There are some cheaters. We all know that. We've all cheated. I mean, not we've cheated. We've seen cheaters everywhere. Political system, economic system. Okay, I'm not talking about defending those people doing that. Those need to be brought to justice. Okay, so now we're at a point where that wasn't enough. They began to consolidate media assets, lobbied to change the laws to make propaganda legal on U.S. soil. Smith-Mundt Act, Benedict Berry signed, bought off local county governments across the nation, purchasing excessive amounts of farmland, some on behalf of hostile governments. Then they began the construction of housing units across countless communities to attempt to steal the vote in other areas by subsidizing voters into certain areas that will vote how they are told to vote. Chinese communists are on U.S. soil and voting the way Beijing tells them to vote, and the machines likely can tell if they are, right? This is what's going on. This is not capitalism, folks. This is feudalism. And these corrupt families that have gone down this path should be held to account. In the meantime, 1 in 1,000 American families control more than 50% of the wealth of America. 1 out of 1,000. So over 60 trillion or 60 million millions controlled by less than 100,000 families. That works out to a minimum entry fee of 600 million to join that club. The uber rich families control north of 60 billion each. 60 billion each, or 100 times more. Okay? These uber rich families are the ones that have most likely declared war on the U.S. Constitution and by default the American people. These are the ones funding CRT, funding lies about elections being honest, attempt to cancel Americans exercising freedom of speech, and censor any people that they view as dissidents. They have incorporated the worst of communist China into their economic empires. There are no easy answers or paths, but perhaps legacy wealth should be treated like a patent, copyright, or trademark. We still do not pay Tesla's heirs for his inventions. Why should sperm lottery winners hold dominion over us, right? And so, what is it going to say here? Look at this loser here. Okay, bye JP. JP's gone. So what I would say is, JP's gone. What a weird guy, huh? kind of weird. So anyways, so it's one thing if they earned it fairly and squarely, but if they did nothing, like Illinois' very own J.B. Pritzker, whose family made their fortune through tax avoidance in the Caribbean before the tax loop was closed, is this, when that allowed him to buy the governorship? Is this just? Is this why Illinois flounders? Abuses by unearned wealth? Something to ponder. Okay? And so I'm personally leaning toward a cap, and this is what got people all worked up, of 0.1% of the size of the U.S. economy, which works out to about $21 billion. For anyone who has ever played Monopoly, joining the game with no cash or properties, with one person owning it all, is not a good idea. Shouldn't the same hold true for our society? We need to end the abuses brought about I got to add a couple words. I wrote this early. By these families that have turned evil in many respects. We have antitrust to prevent abuses in industries. They're not being enforced right now. Why not have antitrust laws for families? Precedent exists to end abuses that occurred 100 years ago. Dust off the laws. What is the logical alternative, right? So I got some people kind of going into getting all worked up, and that's the deal. So anyways, this guy kind of made a comment, taking back wealth because you didn't earn it. You didn't earn it, Bobby. Like, I didn't earn the wealth, right? This isn't what this is about. I don't care if they earned the wealth. They started using the wealth to try to steal my rights that violate the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, I think we should take it. I think we should prosecute these families under RICO, frankly. So I just wrote this person back. I said, wake up. Extreme wealth isn't stopping in its attempt to crush small business entrepreneurs by corrupt government policies that were highlighted last year. The fact that you are so blind tells me you eventually will have no slope when they come and stick you with a vaccine that puts you down like a cat or dog at the vet. Perhaps you made it up to $5.99. So anyways, that's the deal. Anyways, I don't know who this person is. I've never seen them before, but I just decided to comment because, clearly we have a serious problem. And, it ties into Judges 21. It ties into this idea that you allow certain groups, in a sense, if you allow certain groups to accrue insane amounts of power where they, weaponize the wealth. That's exactly right, outsider. That's exactly what I'm saying. When they weaponize the wealth, this is exactly what I'm saying. They've weaponized our capital markets. They're weaponizing our press. Now they're trying to go after weaponizing our school system with CRT. So if we don't speak up and call this out, right? And they've done an incredible job with the narrative. Don't go after wealth. Don't go after wealth. Meanwhile, they're ripping everybody's wealth off through government policy. They're literally figuring out ways to jack everybody in the face. Think about this for a second. Okay? Property taxes. Let's talk about property taxes for a second. Okay? Me, everybody who owns a property, what do we have? We a house that's worth, $400,000. Let's just say it's paying $10,000 in taxes, right? You pay $9,000, $10,000 in taxes. My house is $16,000 in taxes. Okay, so here it is. I'm sitting there like, okay, $16,000. Now, if you look at your property taxes, and you're like, wait a second, what is that? What am I really paying, right, on this as a percentage of my income? Well, if the average American's making $60,000, and then, say a couple is making $100,000 in a house, and let's say they're paying $9,000 in property taxes, they effectively are paying an extra 9 percentage points of their income. 1 out of every $11 they make is going to property taxes. Folks, this is extortion. They've weaponized our property tax system against us. Nobody's speaking up against this. This is in Illinois. And all I'm saying is you can't keep sucking all this money. It's like you take 15% of my money for Social Security, right? They're taking 7.65 times 2, 15.3% because the employer matches. You're taking that money, which you're pissing away. You're not investing it. You just squander it. And then you're taking 9% on my damn property taxes. Now we're up to 24%. Then you got state taxes in Illinois at 5%. Now we're at 29%. Think about this for it. So it's like 9, 5, 14, 15.3. So now we're at 29%. That's before the federal government said, hey, Bobby, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us, Bobby. We're coming in too. Coming in hot. We're coming in hot. And then you got the federal government that wants to take, 25, 30%. So now you're at 29 plus another 20, 25. Okay. What are you at? You're at basically, you're over 50%. Oh, wait, Bobby, relax. We're not done. That 50% isn't enough. When you go to the store, we need another 8% on whatever you spend. We need another 8%. We need our toll. Come on, another 8%. And by the way, we're going to charge more in taxes per gallon of gas at the pump than the company that produces the oil is going to charge. Is that okay? How about we take more in taxes per each gallon than what the damn company makes in profits per gallon? Okay? We're going to do that too. So when you're driving to the store, we're going to pop you. Then we're going to pop you for another 8%. And then, by the way, if you complain about it and you get on your damn cell phone and call, we're going to put an extra tax on that as well. So that one's not going to be 8%. We'll probably put like 15% on the cell phone stuff. So we're going to pop you on that. We're going to pop you. And so it's like, come on, folks. Seriously. Is it? I mean, this is a system. This is what we've set up. This is what we've agreed to. We've agreed to get punched every which way. We don't know if you're coming or going. I mean, like, and so I'm sitting there like, I hear about these uber rich families. You think they're paying these taxes? Like you're being naive. You're being naive. They're not paying. They figured out how to do a lot of stuff. Okay. They figured out a lot of ways to make sure they're not paying. Okay, that's all I can say. They're not paying. They're not paying anywhere near 50% in taxes. The average American, if you sum it all up, you can't have people pay over 50% of their income, 40, 50% of their income in all these different taxes. And then the uber rich, when you look at it, because cap gains is a lower rate, they offshore their money. Everything is they hide it all. And their effective tax rate on income and gains, maybe it's 10%, 15. So you're paying 50, they're paying 10. And then you're gonna have a bunch of people that shoot off their, diarrhea of the mouth is what I'm gonna call it from now on. They do the diarrhea of the mouth and say, oh, Bobby, you can't take their money. Bah, 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 bah. It's like, I don't want their money, but what I do want is them to pay the damn fair share like everybody else. That's all I'm saying. Can't have it both ways. You can't have our military defending these assets in these other places, and then we pay a higher percentage of our money to defend assets that aren't even ours. Like what? How is that just? Anyways, that's the deal, folks. Oh boy. Okay, so that's where we're at. Let's go to this is in Samaria, John 4. Jesus goes through Samaria. He's on a walk and he talks to a Samaritan woman, tells her to give him a drink, and then he basically reveals to her that he's the Messiah. And then Jesus stays in town for a couple of days. This woman, could tell, like Jesus basically told this woman that this is an interesting line of this is definitely the interesting line of being accused of sounding like the Burn. First of all, the Burn, he doesn't want a just system. He wants to just take everybody's assets and divvy it up. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that we should have a system that we're paying a fair amount relative to what we are creating over time. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a big difference. Bernie is trying to say that, it's mine and I should divvy it up along the way my communist friends want to spend your money. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if you're an American and you have income, different ways of generating income, you're paying the effective. We do need to have a way to make sure that you're paying just like anybody else as a percentage of your life costs. That you're going to have an incentive to drive the cost down as low as possible. Think about that for a second. So put it this way, I want to talk about this because this is what you said. Maria, you gave me a great idea. Okay, I want to imagine this for a second. Let's assume for a second, okay, in this world that we're talking about, you say, Bobby, you sound like Bernie. You want to tax the people that are rich. And I say, look, I don't want to tax people more. I don't. I really don't. So I have no interest of having somebody try to. I don't think we should have a progressive tax. Okay. So what do you think about that? I don't think we should have a progressive tax in America. Period. But there should be a tax on income that is earned from working, and there should be a tax earned on assets. Now, frankly, I think assets should have a slightly higher tax than working. If you work, personally, this country has enough wealth that if you work, you should pay nothing in taxes. If you physically work, any physical job in America, like you're in construction, you're a factory worker, you're working, like you literally are working, like no offense, but people like me aren't working as hard physically. Mentally I'm working, but like people in, the accountants, Maria, like, the finance people, the lawyers, we should pay taxes, because, like I would argue, once again, I don't think anybody who works should pay taxes, but if somebody should pay taxes, it should be people that, are having a less physical straining job. We ain't working. Good question, Lynn. But all I'm saying is that, people in the trades, people doing the jobs that nobody wants, right? Let's face it. There's a lot of jobs in this country that nobody wants to do. And some of those jobs are, like I said, they're in the very difficult areas of society. And some of this is being changed by robotics, right? But in terms of a system where we didn't pay taxes for physical work, and then we had a usage tax along the way, that would be a better system. It's like match the government spending with usage and get the government out of, we need to get the government out of doing things that the people should be deciding on their own. That's the big thing. Like, I think we should cut. When I say we should cut 50% of the size of the government, I'm not joking. Like, I'm thinking there's a way we can cut the size of the federal government in half. Yes, over a 6 to 10 year period, we can cut the size of the government in half if we put together a really solid plan and transition away. So what I'm saying is that if our income, okay, so let's just say, I'll give you a simple example, folks. I want you to look at your tax returns, and let's assume that your tax returns last year, you made $100,000, and you look at all your taxes on your tax return, and you're like, Bobby, I paid 30%. I don't even know. Let's just say you paid 30%. You're like, Bobby, I paid $30,000 in taxes. And I say, great. Dan, I'm going to say you made $100,000. I don't know. Maybe you make more. Maybe you make less. So, So here's the deal, Dan. You made $100,000 last year, and let's just say you paid $30,000 in taxes. And I say, Dan, that's wonderful. You paid $30,000 in taxes. That's your cut. You paid 30% in taxes. And are you including everything? And you're like, yes, my property taxes, my income taxes. I paid 30%. And then I say, okay, Dan. We bailed out the capital markets, the American taxpayer. We took on $3 trillion of debt. We pumped $3 trillion of debt. We took on debt as America of $3 trillion last year. for this pandemic. Yeah. Okay. So then all of a sudden, we took on this 3 trillion, and there's this joker named Bezos that made 50 billion of money last year. His stock went up 50 billion. I don't care that he didn't sell it yet. He made 50 billion, 50 billion, right? And then he ran Amazon at a loss for years, not to pay shit in taxes. Okay, I know you guys can go look at the filings and see for yourself. He didn't pay anything in taxes for decades. Okay, 20 years. This guy gamed the system, but he made 50 billion last year. Hey, Dan, I think he should pay 30%. I think he should pay 15 billion. Yes, you heard it right. 15 billion. Sell the damn stock. $15 billion. You made 30 billion. $50 billion. The average American's paying 30%. You pay 15 billion. Boom. Okay? You'd be like, wait a second, Bobby. You know what's going to happen? You know what Bezos is going to say? I don't think we should pay 30% taxes. Let's shrink the government. Let's get that number down to 10. Let's get that number. Let's push the damn tax rate back to 10%, because I don't mind paying 5. I don't want to pay 15. So by doing that kind of tax system, you'll get the richest people in this country to be like fighting on behalf of us for a change. They'll be like, wait a second, the average tax rate for the whole country is going to move up and down by people that are going to have an incentive to crush it. So I'm just saying, that's the way you want tax reform. That's tax reform. And so, anyways, that's the way you do it. And guess what? Not everyone not buy stocks if taxed on them. First of all, one person, one vote. Here's what I would say. There's a real simple solution for that. You know, when you have money, we should have the American people, right? This is the way you do it, guys. Here's the way you do it. We get rid of Social Security over time, and you let the American people take their 15%, and then they buy stocks in tax deferred accounts, right? We each have our own money in our own tax deferred account. That doesn't pay any taxes. So then we don't have any taxes on any of our assets that are taking care of our future spending needs. So then we're less of a burden on the government. And you say any of that money should never be taxed, ever. So if you put money into an account, and we should have reasonable limits, where it's like, or whatever, any money from Social Security that gets put in on your behalf, whatever it grows, right? There should be no taxes on it, ever. That 15%, right in an account, it's for you, and it grows tax free. And then all of a sudden, when you die, that money right now, you don't get the cash. If you die, Social Security gets taken from you, right? There might be a spousal benefit and stuff like that, just temporarily. But in terms of the core money, when you die, it should flow to your estate, and your children or grandchildren should get that cash. And then all of a sudden, it can become taxable. But while you're alive, if you put it aside, you shouldn't have to pay any taxes, is what I would say. So anyways, that's what I think. So we'll see. But, okay, so that's the deal. So this woman ends up saying, I don't have a husband. This is what the woman said to Jesus. I thought this was kind of interesting, folks. You're right. You don't have a husband. If for you have had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man you're living with now, you certainly spoke the truth. This is pretty funny, folks. Jesus calling out this woman that's kind of whoring around. I'm just saying. That's what it sounded like. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe everything was just like, prim and proper along the way. But it is pretty funny. That's why the Bible could be pretty funny, folks. Like Jesus just calling her out. It's like, wow, man, that's a lot of guys. It's a lot of Nice. Anyways, look, the same applies to guys, folks. It's not just the women. Guys doing this kind of stuff too, right? This was crazy, right? Because there was a lot of guys that would. You want to know one of the reasons why they did away with men having multiple wives, right? A lot of people don't know about the history of this, but the reason why, obviously, in our society, polygamy is against the law, and you can't have more than one wives, okay, more than one spouse, because what ends up happening is if there's a shortage of women in a society. Now, keep in mind, the soy might have changed this. The soy in the system might have changed this, but before the soy in the system, if you had a situation where there were if there was a shortage of women caused by the really wealthy in society marrying all the available women, men would get extremely violent. Okay, this is what would end up happening, and so you get super violent in those kind of societies. And so what they've learned is to kind of take what happened with China. I think China. I can't help but think that these people in China set up their system with soy for a long time, right? That, once again, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I haven't researched it. This is a speculation. But maybe they figured out how they could use soy to their advantage to hold people down in China, and this is how they kept social control for hundreds, if not 1,000 years or more. They kept it social control through soy. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I do think it would make an interesting study. And I think that if we studied the soy consumption in nations across the world, and to see how I guess I hate to say it, but like how neutered the men are in various societies that consume soy. I think we should look at it. So anyways, that's the deal here, folks. So then this woman went and told everybody about Jesus, what Jesus told her, that he's the Messiah, and that he was able to tell her about things, so that he's also a prophet, and so forth. And so that's the deal. So Jesus stayed there for 2 days, spread the good word, and then moved on. So let's go to Psalms 105. Give thanks to the Lord and proclaim his greatness. Let the whole world know what he has done. Sing to him. Yes, sing his praises. Tell everyone about his wonderful deeds. Exult in his holy name. Rejoice, you who worship the Lord. Search for the Lord and for his strength. Continually seek him. Remember the wonders he has performed, his miracles and the rulings he has given. You children of his servant Abraham, you descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is the Lord our God. His justice is seen through the land. He always stands by his covenant, the commitment he made 1,000 generations. This is the covenant he made with Abraham and the oath he swore to Isaac. He confirmed it to Jacob as a decree and to the people of Israel as a never-ending covenant. I will give you the land of Canaan as your special possession. He said this when they were few in number, a tiny group of strangers in Canaan. They wandered from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. Yet he did not let anyone oppress them. He warned kings on their behalf, do not touch my chosen people, and do not hurt my prophets. So there you go. So, the question, when we sit there and we kind of read the story, right? We're hearing this story about Israel. And the bigger question I have about this is, with regards to us as Americans, and this holds true for every nation state. Each people, each respective nation needs to think of themselves as the chosen people for that nation, right? That's what makes a nation. It's a culture. It's an attitude that you have toward the people that you live with, that you want to protect and defend your nation. And you are the chosen ones. We're all chosen to be Americans. And so we are Americans. We're all one nation. We're all Americans first before political party. We should be Americans before all this other nonsense that they try to break us up by skin color or eye color. What's next? Hair color. They're gonna break us up by hair color next. And all of these evil things that these corrupt souls are trying to do to cause division among us Americans needs to stop. And I think that we by putting God first, living the Ten Commandments as well, and then the U.S. Constitution, if we follow those key things, I think we'll have an incredibly successful society, even more so than we've had up to this point. I think that American society overall has been successful, especially over our entire history. We have some problems, but that's nothing that therapy can't fix. Therapy being conversations with each other, what we need to do to fix it, how we need to enforce the laws, get rid of the laws that are unjust, punish the people that violated the U.S. Constitution. And I think that we will ultimately restore a just America, right? And we'll be a great role model for the world yet again. So that's the deal. And I do believe that is going to happen. There's enough Americans waking up. We're all stepping up, and we're going to get this done. That's right, Maria. It's therapy. So anyways, a truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is a traitor. And folks, we are definitely seeing a tremendous amount of traitors show their colors in the past few years. They've been building up for a long time throughout our system, and then we definitely need to bring them justice as a society, whatever that justice looks like. And for the courts that are corrupt, I am not opposed at this point to having our military temporarily step in and bring justice to all of these people, that need to have justice if the court system has been compromised. We should definitely have a court system corruptness score. I don't know if there is such a thing, but we definitely need to develop a score of sorts for how corrupt are our courts. I do think we need to do that. We should have a damn score. And you know what, folks? We need to start getting more than one person to run for judges across this nation. There's no excuse that we should only have one person running for a judge. There should be multiple people running for judge, and we should know what each judge stands for. So anyways, with that being said, folks, St. Michael's prayer. St. Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of souls. So, amen. And with that, folks, may God bless you. God bless your family and friends. May God continue to bless the greatest nation in the history of the world. Thank you all for showing up this morning. I know it was short notice, but I'll be back tomorrow. I'll text it out. I'm guessing 7:30. I want to do a rosary for this movie's success, that the word gets out. And then, right afterwards, I'll probably do the Bible. Put it this way. I'm going to do the Bible at 8:00 tomorrow morning because I have something again in the evening. So tomorrow, 8 a.m., I will do it. So if you guys can join me, that would be wonderful. 8 a.m. It'll be day 126. So thank you all so much for chiming in. And may peace be with you. And if you don't have peace, pray more, get involved, take your school boards back. Make sure you get at least 2 people running for judge, and let's take this country back everywhere we can. I mean, we need to take all the levers of power back and let we, the people, call the shots. We need to return to that. So have a wonderful day. God bless everyone.